effect. Assets, okay, assets will be increased by supplies, okay, but liability will be increased because he said on account. Okay, okay, Siham. So will be now effect in assets will be increase and liabilities will be increase. Clear? Carefully when you read the transaction. Okay? Okay. So it's clear? Okay. Now part C, he told you under the double entry system, here we have some following information. Just we need to decide it when the account increase or decrease, you will put it in which side, in debit side or in credit side. Such as the first question, the first transaction in part B. In part B, you say assets increase. Okay, so when you say assets increase means it is debit or credit. Part B, debit. And here you said equity increase. So when you say equity increase means debit or credit? Okay, exactly, Sheikh Ahmed. So now we will go to part C. Part C now, I think it's clear to answer. Now, he said salaries and wigs expense increase. Salaries and wigs expense increase. In accounting, we say for accounting, in accounting, when we work for accounting, we know for assets and the expense and the withdraw, normal balance debit. And if you won't go to increase it, you will put it as a debit. And if you go to decrease means put it as a credit. So here, assets plus expense plus withdraw. Clear what I write? When you go to increase means debit. When you go to decrease means credit. Clear? Screen is clear to you? And for equity and equity, this is equity plus revenue plus liabilities. When you go to increase means put it credit. When you go to decrease means put it debit. Okay, so if it's, you know this formatting, so you can answer, easy answer, art, part C. Okay, so part C, it's now he asks you for first transactions, salaries and week's expense. Increase. So salaries, what is R? R it is revenue. Revenue, it will be credit. Okay, Abdulaziz, R revenue. He asks you about expense. Will be in the entry debit or so you will put it here debt and decrease account payable. Decrease account payable. Here account payable, it is part of what? Equity or revenue or liabilities? It is part of liabilities, okay? So, account payable, when you go to decrease account payable means it will be debt, okay? Now, increase owner capital. Owner capital, it is will be in the equity. So, the equity increase means it will be here credit. Decrease office supplies. Supplies رؤى salaries here he told you salaries and wigs expense. This is what? This is expense. But when he said salaries and wigs expense payable, okay? When he said expense payable, it will be liabilities. But if you are already pay, means you are, it will, okay? We have three expense, yeah, Roa. When he said wigs expense, it is expense. When he said be liabilities. When he said a prepaid expense, so it will be assets. Okay, Roa? So it is depend what he said. Here he said salaries expense, so it will be expense. If he said salaries expense payable, it will be liabilities. If he said prepaid salaries expense, it will be assets. Okay, clear? Ro'a, clear? Okay, so now we will go to the office supplies. The office supplies, we know the office supplies, it is what? It is assets. Okay, so assets decrease means what will be do? We will put it in the credit or in the debit side. Yes, credit. And owner drawing, increase owner drawing, we know the owner drawing normal balance debit, so increase we will put it debit. So this is the answer for question now, first question. Do you have any question? Question 1 all clear? Okay. الowner withdrawing, it means withdraw, ya Abdulaziz. It means withdraw, okay? Or sometimes we can say drawing. Drawing means normal balance debit. When the drawing increase means you will put it in size and you will prepare journal entry drawing to cash. So now we will go to question number 2. Question number 2, he asks you to prepare what? He asks you to prepare journal entries and posting. Journal entries and posting. And for posting, he will not ask you posting all accounts. Okay? He will select some accounts and he required to post for this account. Okay? Now, we know when you go to prepare journal entries, you will go to prepare table. Okay, you can prepare table. The first column will be about date, second column will be about descriptions, and third column will be about debit side, and last will be about credit side. Or you can prepare the journal entry without the format for journal general. Okay, without format for journal general. Now we will go for the first transaction. He said invested 40,000 cash in the business. So analysis for this transactions start for a new business, and he put it in capital in cash. Okay, so now we have how many accounts in this transaction? How many accounts we have for the first transaction? Yes, we have two. Okay, so what we have? We have cash and we have what? Capital, exactly. So cash increase or decrease? Decrease, increase. And capital decrease or increase? Capital increase. So our format, our rules, he said when the assets increase means put it debit. When the capital increase means put it credit. So the first journal for the first transaction will be cash debit to capital credit. So cash will be debit 40,000 and capital will be credit 40,000. Okay, suppose if he told you invested 40,000 and he put it 50% cash and 50% bank account, what your entry will be? Yes. So debit, how many account in debit and how many account in credit? In debit, we will say cash, 20,000 cash and 20,000 bank to capital 40,000. We know in journal entry, in double entry system, we need to have balance between debit and credit. Okay, so we have cash, bank, debit, capital, credit. If he said he invested 40,000 cash and he bring with him land and market value for land 15,000. So now what's the entry will be? When he bring with him any assets, so the entry will be from all assets to capital. Such if he bring with him land, if he bring with him building, equipment, so the entry will be, for example, cash, building, equipment, land to capital. Okay. Okay. Now we will go to second transaction. Second transactions, he said purchased land cost 28,000 cash. So here we have how many account? Two account. All of this account in which side in account equation? Yes, Siham, in assets. So when the account equation, all items or accounts was in the one side, so one will be increase and one will be decrease, right? If transaction was in one side, because in the account equation we have two sides, assets and second side liabilities plus equity. If the transaction was in one side, means one will be increase and one will be decrease. Okay, so here cash increase or decrease? Cash decrease, so it will be debit or credit? When cash decrease, so it will be credit. Yes. And land increase or decrease in land? Increase, so will be debit. So now our journal entry, we said land debit and cash what? Credit. Okay, clear? Transaction number 3. Comment 12,000 plus costing 12,000 for 3,000 cash and reminder on credit. Now in transaction number 3, how many account we have? Transaction number 3. Yes, Ahmed, we have 3. So what's the account we have? We have equipment, cash, payable. So what is the amount of account payable? Account payable will be 12,000 minus 3,000, so will be 9,000. Yes. So our entry will be equipment increase or decrease? Increase. So will be debit or credit? Will be debit. Okay, so now debit side it was equipment. Now we will go to credit side. Cash increase or decrease? Cash decrease. Okay, so when cash decrease, so it will be in debit or in credit? Account payables, it is increase or decrease? Account payable increase. So when the account payable increase, means will be debit or credit? Credit. So now our entry will be equipment 12,000 to cash 3,000 plus account payable 9,000. Clear? Okay, now we will go to part transaction 5. Received 3,000 cash for providing service. Okay, we provide service to our customer and we received 3,000. So 3,000 received cash or no? Received cash. Okay, so now cash increase or decrease? Okay, okay. Supplies. Okay, supplies. Okay, sorry. We will go to question transaction number 4. Supplies on account. We purchases supplies on account. So supplies, we know supplies or liabilities or equity. Assets. When you purchase supplies, it will be increase or decrease? Increase. So means supplies will be debit or credit? Supplies will be debit or credit? Will be debit, exactly. Now, how you purchase the supplies? He said on account, means you didn't pay. So purchases on account means you will put it in increased liabilities, means increase account payable. So our entry will be supplies debit 800 and account payable will be credit 800. Clear? Okay. Now part 5. Received 3,000 for providing service to your customer and 3,000 received cash. You provide service to customers and received 3,000 cash. So what's the account in analysis for this transactions? We have cash increase and revenue increase. So we will put it cash debit and revenue will be credit. Okay. Number 6. You provide service 4,000, but still you didn't receive. I already provide you service, but still you didn't pay to me. So Siham, it will be same answer in question number 5, transaction number 5, but we will not put it cash. We will put it what? Account receivable. Okay, account receivable. So we will put it account receivable as a debit and revenue as credit 4,000. Number 7, paid wigs 2,000. It is salary. When you pay salaries, so we will put it salaries expense or wigs expense debit and cash will be credit. So transaction number 7 entry will be wigs expense 2,000 and cash decrease 2,000. So cash will be credit 2,000. Last number 8, withdraw. So we know withdraw will be in debit and cash will be, if we paid cash, you will put it cash. If we paid by check, you will put it bank. Okay, so he withdraw 1,000 cash. So our entry will be 1,000 withdraw debit and 1000 cash will be credit. Number 7, expense. He paid expense. Okay, he paid expense. Works expense. So expense, we said expense, it is debit. Okay, expense increase or decrease? Increase. So the entry will be expense, or you can say works expense debit and cash will be credit. All expense will be debit. Suppose if we said here in number 7, if we said paid wigs expense and bigs ceiling expense and paid, for example, light expense. So all this expense will be in debit side and cash will be in credit side. But if we said paid by check, so you will not put it cash, you will put it bank. Okay, Ru'a? So question number 2. Now clear? Require number 1. We will go to post transactions and balance for cash account. For cash account. So for cash account, just he told you to post only for cash. To post only for cash. So now you will go step by step. You will start from the first transactions. First transaction, you have cash or no? You have cash or no? Okay. Cash in which part? In debit or in credit? Debit. So let me to open. This is, we will go to prepare T account for cash. Suppose this is T account for cash. Okay. So at first you said cash was in debit side. So this is debit side. What's the amount? Was what's the amount was? $40. Okay. $40. So here we will put it in debit size 40,000. Okay. Now, second, we will go to second transactions. Second transactions, we have cash or no in the second transactions? we have cash, yeah? How much? 28,000. So cash in the second transaction, second entry, it is debit or credit? Credit. So we will go to credit size and we will, this is the credit size here, 1,000. Okay. To transaction, next transactions, we have also cash in debit or in credit size. We have in credit size, what's the amount? 3,000. So we will go to credit size and we go to put it 3,000 in the debit size here, and the credit size oh. Stop. 3,000 here. In credit size, we return back to our questions. We will check if the transaction number 4, we have cash. We don't have cash in number 4. Number 5, we have cash as debit or credit? Debit, 3,000. And number 6, we have 4,000. Number 7, we have 2,000 credit. Number 8, we have 2,000 credit. So we have now for number 5 and number 6, 3 and 4,000 debit. So we will go to debit size here. We will put it 3,000, 3 and 4,000. And 4,000, and transaction number 7, 2,000 credit, and number 8, 1,000 also credit. So credit, what's the amount credit? 2,1. Okay, so here in credit, we will put it in the credit 2,000. 2,000, and also 1,000 will be in credit size. After that, what we will do, calculate total amount in debit size and calculate total amount in credit size. We will go to calculate debit size and credit size in both sides. Okay, so in debit size, we have 40 plus 3 plus 7 plus 4. We have 47,000 in credit. And in debit, how much total amount in debit? We have 34. And we know normally total amount for debit must be greater than a total amount in credit size for assets, expense, withdraw. Assets and expense and withdraw, normally the total amount for debit side will be greater than the total amount for what? For the credit side. So now he asks you after posting to account cash, he asks you find the balance. So the balance will be difference between what? Between the 47 minus the 34. The 47 minus 34. So what's the balance? What's the balance? The balance will be 13,000. The balance will be 13,000. So clear now the posting and how you find the balance. Okay. We will go now to question number 4. You have following information. Yes, C means credit, will B means debit. Okay, Siham. B debit, B slash D debit, with C slash D this will be credit. Means this is means balance debit. Okay, balance debit. Okay, Siham. Now question number 3 or 4. 3. So he asks you about find or calculate the following current assets. You know, for assets we have 3 or 4 classification, major classification. Okay, we have current assets, we have fixed assets, we have intangible assets. Also, we can say we have long-term investment. Okay, long-term investment. So now he asks you about calculate the current assets. So you will go through following information here, and you need to know for each items what's the classification for each items. So for current assets, salaries payable will be included in current assets. Yes, no. Trade receivables, it is account receivables. It is account receivables. So it will be included in current assets. So say now calculate 13,000. Okay, 13,000. Plant and equipment. Plant and equipment it will be in fixed assets. So will be not in the current assets. Property will be in the fixed assets. Okay. Bank loan will be in liabilities. Cash. Yes, cash will be in current assets. Van will be in fixed assets. Inventories will be in current assets. So current assets, how many items we have? We have three items. Trade receivables, it means account receivables يا روى. Or you can, the trade receivables, you can say this is not receivables, okay? Not receivables. So here we have three items under the current assets. No, not balance sheet. He asks you not for balance sheet. He asks you for calculating the following and for require, okay? So now current assets. Current assets 13,000 plus 13,000 plus الكاش 17,000 plus الانفنتوري 55,000. So 55,000 plus 17,000 plus 13,000. Okay, so the total will be 5,000, 85,000. So answer required number one will be 85,000. Okay, Rawan, he didn't ask you about preparing balance sheet. Just go to find the following required. Now you will go to non-current assets. So salaries, payables, current assets or non-current assets? It is liabilities. So you will skip. Trade receivables, you will skip because trade receivable will be what? It is current assets. Plant and equipment. Plant and equipment will be non-current assets. So 140,000 plus property 215. So now we have two items for non-current assets. 140 and 215 plus 65,000 van plus 65,000 van. So now total amount for non-current assets, we said 65. It is van plus plant plus property. So total amount will be 420. Clear? Okay. Now he asks you about what? He asks you about current liabilities. So we know for current liabilities, it is means you will pay within 1 year or within financial cycle. Okay. So this is the current liabilities. So current liabilities means you will pay within financial year or within operation cycle. So here we have in current liabilities, salaries payable will be in the current liabilities 25,000, and also we have trade payables. It will be what? It will be also current liabilities. So current liabilities, we have 37,000, 25,000 trade payable plus salaries payable. 25 plus 37,000. What's the amount? $25 plus 37. What's the amount? $62,000. 62,000. And he asked also about non-current liabilities. Non-current liabilities, just we have a bank loan 70,000. So non-current liabilities 70,000. Number 5, he asked you about the equity. So how we can find the equity here? Equity will be equal what? Equity will be equal assets minus liabilities. Okay, equity will be equal assets minus liabilities. So assets, we have how many parts for assets? We have current assets and we have non-current assets. So what's the total amount of assets? Total amount of assets means answer number 1 plus answer number 2. So what amount for answer number 1 and answer number 2? 85,000 plus what? Plus 420,000. So the assets will be equal what? Assets will be equal 85,000 plus 425,000. So total assets will be 510,000. Okay, it will be 500 كم 500 it will be, this is the total amount of assets. And for liabilities also, a total amount for liabilities اللي هي part number 3 and part number 4. Part number 3 62 and liabilities will be equal 62,000 will be equal 62,000 plus 70,000. So a total amount for liabilities will be 138. So now equity will be equal what? 505,000 minus what? 132,000 total amount for liabilities. So equity will be equal 373,000. Clear? Okay. After that, we will go to last question. Last question, he asks you about find the cost of goods sold and cost of inventory, ending inventory, and you will go through the method of FIFO. You will go by FIFO method. Okay, so here inventory, you will go to prepare this table. You will divide it for this table to 4 columns. First column for date, second for purchases, third for sales or cost of goods sold, and last will be for inventory. And for each column for purchases, cost of goods sold, and inventory, you will go to divide it to sub columns, 3 columns. The first will be about quantity, second about about the unit cost or unit price and the total cost. So here he purchases or start or he have beginning inventory 20 units, and this is the number 5. So we will go to multiply 20 multiply 5. So quantity in purchases in 1st May 20 unit and price 5. So 20 unit multiply 5, total cost will be 100. So after completed in purchases column, copy and paste in column inventory on hand. As it is, just copy paste. Second, transactions in date of 10 May, he also purchases 20 unit. So 20 multiply 8 will be 160. After that, you will go to inventory in on hand. Before start for transaction 10 May, you need to take what? To take last inventory in your hand balance. You will take it, copy and paste here. Copy and paste in the date of 10 May. So in 10 May we have two quantity. The first quantity will be in the 1st May and second quantity will be in May. Okay, first quantity price 5 and second quantity price 8. And in 15 May he sold. How many units sold? He sold 15 units. So here we need to decide it. At first, working in which method? In FIFO. So in FIFO means first in, first out. So where's the first in our quantity? In which date? In May, 1st May or in 10 May? 1st May. So we have in the 1st May how many units? It is cover for sold 15 unit. Yes, it is cover. So the 15 unit sold, it will be just on from the first quantity. So from the first quantity. So I will take from 20. Will okay. Okay, now we will go to inventory in your hand. Inventory in your hand, the first quantity it was 20 units, sold 15, so balance will be how much? You have how many units? You have 5 units in the first. We have 5 multiply 5. It will be second quantity in 10 May. It is will we don't use it. Okay, now we will go to date 18 May. Purchases. Before start for purchases transactions, you need to what? You need to take and paste inventory in your on hand. Inventory on hand, you need to, when you have a new transaction, purchases transaction, so you need to copy and paste the inventory on hand in the under the line when you go to start for a new purchases. So here we have in 18 May purchases. So before start to treatment for purchases transactions, you need to take copy and paste last inventory. So last inventory you have 5 and you have 20. So before start for purchases, you need take copy paste. So 5, 20 here, 5 and 20. And after that, you will start for what? For transaction, purchases transactions. Purchase transaction, how many unit? 10 multiply 9, it will be 90. After completed purchases in the columns, you will take it copy and paste under the inventory in your hand. So inventory in your hand, here you have 3 dates. You have 3 different dates. We will go to last transactions in 21st May. Here he purchases how many unit? He sold how many unit? 21st. How many units sold? Sold, yes, sold 15 units. So when you will go to sold 15 unit, you will start from the first date. So the first date here, we have transaction in 1st May and transactions in 10 May and transaction in 18 May. So which date we will start? We will start from the old date. Old date, what? 18 or 10 or 1st May. What's the old date? Old date will be 1st May. So we will start from the 1st May. So 1st May, how many unit we have? Voice now okay? Okay. So here you have how many unit you have? You have 20 unit. You have a 20 unit in your hand as inventory, okay? And cost of this inventory will be 170. So if you go to check, if you will go to check how many unit enter, you have purchases how many unit? You have purchases 20 unit in 1st May and 20 unit in 10 May and 10 unit in 18 May. So how many unit you have? You have 15 unit. Okay. So now if you will go to check how many unit pay and how many unit you have, total amount for unit sold plus unit inventory, it will be same the total amount of purchases. So if you go to cost of goods sold, how many unit you sold? You sold 30 unit. And how many unit you have inventory? You have 20 units. So 20 plus 30 unit, so the total amount will be same quantity purchases. And also if you will go to check, total cost for purchases will be equal total cost for sold plus total cost for inventory. So inventory 170 and cost 180, so total will be how much? 350. Okay, so total purchases will be equal 350. Just this is for check. Okay, and here he asks you about cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold, just you will go to calculate for this column. Cost of inventory, not calculate all columns, just last rule. Okay, that's just the last date here. This is the amount will be cost of inventory. Okay, after that he asks you about what? About gross profit. We know gross profit will be equal sales minus the cost of goods sold. So the cost of goods sold, here we have the cost of goods sold 180 and the price, he give you price here 10. This is the price unit for sales. So how many units sold? 30 units. So you will say 30 unit multiply 10, so it will be 300. This is the sales amount. And the cost of goods sold, here from the table 180. So gross profit will be 300 minus what? Minus 180. You will get what? You will get the gross profit. So gross profit will be 120. Clear? Sales revenue, just how many units you sold. You will go to this column. Quantity of good here, cost of goods sold. Okay. Do you see where I mention? Ramesha, do you see where I mention here? So quantity, how many quantity you sold? How many quantity you sold? 15 plus 5 plus 10. Clear? So you sold 30 unit. 30 unit multiply what? Multiply the sales price. Here message sales price. Do you see where I mentioned sales price 10? Just 30 unit multiply 10. just multiply 10. So the result will be 300. Okay, clear? So this is our revision for midterm. Do you have any question? الاختبار you can go to university page and you will find the schedule. For schedule it will be in the website, university website. Okay. مش فاهم، ما راح يكون في البالانس شيت؟ شو في البالانس شيت؟ Focus topic, he will send to me focus topic. Okay, I have focus topic for previous semester, but we need to him to send a new focus topic. Siham, this is sample for you. You need to go to your PowerPoint and you need to read all in PowerPoint. You need to read, study, balance sheet, owner equity, income statement. This is sample. Okay, maybe he will bring this sample, but maybe he will change it. Okay, maybe he will ask you about preparing trial balance. Okay, or he will give you trial balance and you will go to preparing, for example, balance sheet, income statement. Okay, this is sample. I have another sample I will send to you. Okay, means this is not they will come in the exam. Okay, this is sample for last semester. I will send for previous semester, I will send to you, but you need to go to cover all material. Okay. Yes, I am BCC. مش فاهم يا سهام، ايش الترتيب؟ Actually, you need to start for income statement. If we, for example, ask you about preparing statement, income statement, balance sheet, owner equity, so you need to start from income statement because the net income will be transferred to owner equity and the capital and owner equity will be transferred to balance sheet. So it's better to start from income statement and owner equity, and last you can go to prepare income balance sheet. Actually, it will be on LMS. You can for recording lecture. It will be already if you go to LMS. Link will be there. Okay, Ahmed. And for this also, for this, I think it's the recording. It is close. And also maybe this class recording I will also upload in the. I will upload the link for this lecture. For a quiz, actually, we don't receive the date for a quiz still. He sent me mail. It will be after midterm, okay? After midterm. When I have instructions about quizzes, I will send to you direct. Midterm will be 1 day, open 1 day, 24 hours. You will, for midterm, it will be 24 hours, okay? And you can, you need to upload within the day, okay? Actually, it will be a mix between essay questions and with practice. Okay, will be mixed between essay and practice. Just let me to receive his instructions, and I will send to you direct. You will prepare the table. You will prepare the table, and it's easy. You can see the table in your laptop, or it is, because it is the exam, it will be open hand. Okay, it will be open. So open book, you can what? You can see the table and you can prepare it easy. The income statement, it is depend on which company you work. If you are working with service company, so income statement will be just total amount for revenue minus the total amount for expense. If you are working with trade company or merchants company, so you need to find the cost of goods sold. So in income statement for trade company, at first you need to find net sales. So how you can find net sales? Net sales will be equal sales minus discount sales minus allowance sales minus return sales. So sales minus allowance with discount return sales, you will get what? You will get net sales. Okay, Rob? Net sales minus the cost of goods sold, you will find the gross profit. Gross profit minus the operating expense, you will get net income. But now, how you can find the cost of goods sold? The cost of goods sold, it will be equal what? The beginning inventory plus purchases expense minus discount purchases minus return purchases minus allowance purchases minus ending inventory. So you can find the cost of goods sold. The cost of goods sold, I will repeat, it will be equal beginning inventory plus purchases plus expense purchases minus discount purchases minus allowance purchases minus return purchases minus ending inventory. This is what you can find by this the cost of goods sold. Okay. For quizzes, I will, when I receive an instructions, I will send to you direct. For focus topic, when I receive also, I will send to you. Okay. For schedule exam, midterm and final, you can find it in website university. And for midterm, it will be open to you one day. Okay. See you next week. Okay. See you. Salam.